Maybe. Let's see. It's taking a long time. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, guys. So, okay, a couple of announcements. New to TOPS this year is a halfway point. We are going to have a lock date. Okay, and so we've talked about this, but basically, this lock date is coming up on October 16th. So it's not going to be this Sunday, but it's the next Sunday. Okay, and this lock date is going to lock you out of everything, like all assignments. So that's quiz, test, homework that we do up until tomorrow. So units 1, 2, and 3 are all going to lock on Sunday, October 16th. Okay, and so the reason that we have this new lock date is just because there was a lot of people in previous years that were waiting until the last week or so of school to try to get everything done. So to help keep everyone on track and paced correctly, we're going to do a lock date. So you have to get it done before, obviously, the last week of school. So this is going to include your resubmissions on your writing assignments. Okay, so if you were wanting to do some retakes, or resubmit your Unit 1 or Unit 2 writing assignment, you need to make sure that you get those done before October 16th. Okay, so that's the lock date. Now, with the lock date coming up, we do have no school on Friday, and there is no school on Monday. So that's 2 days that you do not have an extra or an additional assignment. So those are perfect days to go in and complete some of your missing work or watch some tutorial videos and update your writing assignment. Okay, so let's make sure that we're doing that, taking advantage of not having school and new assignments that are due. Okay, so that's kind of the big announcement. I know normally we don't do big announcements in here, but I want to make sure that everyone knows the lock date is coming up. Okay, and there's not going to be much I can do about it. So once it is closed, so we've got to get that taken care of. Okay, if you are confused or you need a list of your missing assignments, please let me know. You can email me and let me know, hey, can I have a list of missing assignments or assignments I could redo? I'd be very happy to get that for you, especially since we do not have school on Friday, and y'all can use that day to kind of catch up. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our lesson for today. So first I want to do a little warm up over graphing equations. So that's when we have an equal sign. So the first step when we graph for equations is we're going to check and make sure that our y value, which is over here on the left, we want to make sure that y is by itself. So as you can see, y is by itself. So now the second thing we do once y is by itself is graph our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is going to be the point +2. So I'm going to come over to my graph to +2 on the y-axis and put a point right there. All right, now the number that is in front of x, that is your slope, okay? So since it's a +3 on the top, that means we're going to go up, and our bottom number is always going to go to the right. So from the y-intercept that I have graphed, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So there was quite a few of you on your, let's see, can't remember what assignment it was. It was either the 3.03 or 3.04 or 3.07 that you were just putting a line through the y-intercept. But I need to see 2 exact points so that I know you're able to use the slope to find another point. Okay? All right, so that is our warm-up for today. We are going to be doing some graphing today. So just so you're aware. And then we're going to have a little bit of extra time at the end where you're going to work on your 3.07 homework if you have not done it yet. All right, so let's review real quick. If you need to take a picture of this or write it down, go ahead. But let's review how to graph a line. That's okay, Nola. So a line, an equation is where we have an equal sign, okay? So first thing we're going to do is check to make sure that our equation is in slope-intercept form, which means y is by itself. Once we have y by itself, we are going to find the slope and y-intercept. We will plot the y-intercept first, and then we will use the slope to find another point. You need at least 2 points. So one of them is your y-intercept, and then one is just another point that you use the slope to find. Alrighty, so what happens? Let's do another warm-up. No worries. What happens if we don't have y by itself? This is where we're going to solve for y. So I'm going to do a quick review with you. We have 8 times x plus 2 times y equals -6. So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. Oh, my pen is being silly. There we go. I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. I would get 2 times y equals. Now, I cannot combine this -6 minus 8x. The reason I can't combine that is because -6 does not have a variable and the -8x does. It has x as a variable. So they're not like terms. Therefore, I cannot combine them. It's easiest to list your x value first. So -8x minus 6. And let's divide now everything by 2. So I would get y equals -4 times x minus 3. Okay, y is now totally by itself. So now I can identify my slope and my y-intercept. So this -3 at the end, that's going to be my y-intercept. -4 over 1. Okay, if it's just an integer or just a single number, we put that number over 1. That's going to be my slope. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do once I've identified slope and y-intercept, I'm going to plot the y-intercept on my graph. So I'm going to come down to -3 on the y-axis, and I will put my point there. Alrighty, now I'm going to use my slope. So from my y-intercept, I'm going to go down 4 because the number on top is negative. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. And I will put my second point in graph. Okay, so if some of you got some, or I left you feedback on 3.04, and I said, please show your work in solving for y. This is what I mean on the left-hand side. So show me how you got y by itself, and then I want you to graph. Okay? All right, so let's talk about what is new for today, or what we're going to go over today. Today, we're going to graph an inequality. So an inequality is less than or greater than less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Once we have gone over graphing an inequality, we are going to learn how to determine if a given point is a solution to the inequality. Okay, so how do we graph inequalities? Well, step one is actually going to be the same. It's nothing new. It's the same fun things you've been doing and you're now so good at, of graphing linear equations. So you're going to get your inequality. It's an inequality now, not an equation, but you're going to get your inequality into slope-intercept form. So you're going to get y by itself, and then you're going to plot 2 points on the line. So you're going to plot your y-intercept, and then you will use your slope to plot a second line. Okay, so then this is where we start to have things that are different between inequalities and equations. If the sign, the inequality sign, is less than or equal to, or it's greater than or equal to, we are going to use a solid line to graph. If we just have less than or greater than, we are going to use a dotted line to graph. So the difference being, when we use a solid line, if a point falls on that line, we would say that that is a solution because it's equal. If you are using a dotted line and a point is on that line, it is not a solution, okay, because we're not including the actual line. So we're including everything up to that line, but not including that line. Questions? Okay, after we have graphed our line, either dotted or solid line, we are going to shade either above or below the line. So if you already did your 3.7 homework and you got like half the points or 2 out of 5, it's probably because you did not shade. So in order to shade, okay, perfect. Well, we're going to work on that today, Allie, okay? So we'll get that fixed. In order to figure out which way to shade, you are going to pick a point. My suggestion to you is to always use 0, 0. Okay? Plug in 0 for x, plug in 0 for y, and see if the statement is true. If you get a true statement, true means that is included. It is a solution. So you're going to shade the side that contains your test point. If you use 0, 0, you're going to shade the side that contains 0, 0. If it is false, you're going to shade on the opposite side of your test point. That all sounds like a lot right now, but I'm going to show you how we do this. Before we do that, again, I just want to show you, this is the difference between an equation, this is an equal sign, and this is an inequality because there's shading. So solutions to an equation are only points that are on the line. Solutions to an inequality, in this case, since it's a solid line, it's all numbers that are on the line and every single ordered pair that's in the shaded area. So you can see there are a lot more solutions. If we have a dotted line, our solutions would only be the shaded area. It would not include any points on the dotted line. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and just try to do one. I'm going to do this one for you. So if you want to pause and just watch me do this one, You can. If you need to just watch without taking notes for a second, that's totally fine. All right, so first thing I'm going to check and make sure that y is by itself. In this case, it is. So now that y is by itself, I'm going to identify my slope, which is the number in front of x. So that would be -5 over 4. And my y-intercept is going to be +4. The next thing I'm going to do is write out what kind of line I'm going to use. So I'm going to look at my sign. It is strictly greater than. So I'm going to use a dotted line here. Okay, so I've got all 3 pieces that I need to be able to graph. Let's go ahead and graph. So the first point I'm going to plot is just like when I graph equations. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept at +4. So I'm going to put a point at +4. Now I'm going to use my slope, which is down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will go ahead and put my second point there. So I've got 2 points. Now I need to draw my dotted line through those 2 points. I am almost finished. The last thing I need to do is shade. So remember I said we were going to use a test point. Since 0, 0, which would be right here, it's the origin, it's not on that line, I'm going to now use that as my test point. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 0 for x and 0 for y. I go back to the original equation, so 0 is greater than -5/4 times 0 plus 4. So you can see why 0 works out well, because usually everything kind of cancels out except one number. So we get 0 is greater than 4. That's the question we're asking ourselves. Is 0 greater than 4? It is not. 0 is not greater than 4. So that means 0, 0, which is down here, is not a solution. So therefore, I want to shade on the other side of 0, 0, on the other side of the line. And that would be it. Okay. Okay. Now, I want you to work this one with me. So the first thing that we notice is that y is not by itself. So tell me in the room chat, what would I need to do to get y by itself? Good. Exactly. Very good. Alrighty. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So I'm going to get y is less than -3x plus 13. All right, so everybody tell me in the room chat, what is our slope? Put m equals and then put b equals. So help me identify what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. Try again, AJ. So remember, yeah, there you go. B equals, So remember, guys, our slope is just the number in front of x. So slope is just the number in front of x. So that's going to be -3 over 1. And our y-intercept, b, is going to be 13. Okay, now take a look at the inequality again. Oh, and I want you to tell me, What kind of line will I be using? Good, Nola. Good. Exactly. I'm going to use a dotted line. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and graph our y-intercept first. So I'm going to come up here to positive 13, put a point. Now I'm going to use my slope. So down 3 and to the right 1. And we may need to keep going. You don't have to keep going as long as you have your y-intercept and one other point. That's great. So let's draw our dotted line. The last thing we have to do is shade. Okay, so again, I'm going to use 0, 0 as a test point. You can plug it into your original equation or your slope-intercept equation. Either one is totally fine with me. Okay, they both will give you the same answer. So I'm going to plug it into the original. So 3 times 0 plus plus 0, y is 0, is less than 13. Okay, 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. You can see why 0 works out really well. So is 0 less than 13? Yes, it is. So then I'm going to shade the side of the line that includes 0, 0. So anything in this blue shaded area would be part of the solution. Alrighty, let's do another one. Alrighty, so we need to first solve for y. So can you tell me in the room chat, what steps do I need to take to solve for y? Okay, good. That's a good first step. Excellent. Good, Micah. Thank you. Good, AJ. Good, Amare. Good job. Yeah, good, Nola. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, subtract 5x. Yep, AJ, and then that's the second step. You're exactly right. So we would get 2 times y is greater than negative 5x plus 10. All right, now go ahead and tell me your next step. Good. I'm going to divide every term by 2. Yep, divide everything by 2. All right, so when I do that and simplify, I'm going to get y is greater than negative 5 halves x plus 5. All right, so now what do I plot first? How do I graph this? What should I do? The y-intercept, exactly, yep. So +5, excellent. Let's go ahead and plot that. All right, so now I've got this point at +5. What do I do next? How do I find another point? Okay, I'm going to go down 5 and right 2. Exactly. So I'm going to use my slope. Good job. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right 1, 2. And I'm going to put my second point there. Okay, good deal. Now, I have to connect these points with a line. What kind of line should I use? Good, a dotted line, exactly, because I have just a greater than sign. Okay, good deal. So let's go ahead, put our dotted line, and now I'm going to use 0, 0 as my test point. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x and 0 for y. Again, you can do it in the original problem or the one that you solved. Either one is totally fine. So I'm going to do it in the original. 5 times 0 plus 2 times 0 is greater than 10. All right, so 5 times 0 is 0 plus 2 times 0, which is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. So is 0 greater than 10? It's not. Right. So 0, 0 would be on the left side of the line. 0, 0 is not a solution. So I have to shade the other side of the line. Good. Good job, guys. Very good. Okay, so that is what I have for you on graphing. Now, before you go, I want to go over with you another type of problem with inequalities. So this question says, which ordered pair is a solution to this inequality? So it's basically what we were just doing with our test points. Okay, something is a solution if it's a true statement. Something is not a solution if you get a false statement. Okay, so what we're going to do then for these problems is start and take this ordered pair. This is your x value and your y value, and you're just going to plug it in. So 5 times 0 minus 2 times -3 is less than or equal to 6. Okay, 5 times 0, that's 0. 2 times -3, well, it's -2 times -3. That becomes +6. So now ask yourself, is +6 less than or equal to +6? Yes, it's equal, right? It's not less than, but it is equal. So then A would be your answer. That's not too bad, right? Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to put up a poll here. So I want you to try this one. This is the same problem. Take your ordered pairs on over here, A, B, C, and D. Okay, you have your X value and your Y value. You're just going to plug them in. This one says which ordered pair is in the solution. So you're looking for a true statement. Okay. So I'll help you with the first one. So if x is 0, so we've got 2 times 0 minus 5 times 5 is greater than or equal to 10. All right, so 2 times 0 is 0, right? 5 times 5 is 25. So 0 minus 25 is greater than or equal to 10. Is negative 25 greater than or equal to 10? No. Okay, so it can't be A. Let's check B. So now I've got 2 times 5 minus 5 times 0 is greater than or equal to 10. 10 minus 0 is greater than or equal to 10. So is 10 greater than or equal to 10? Yes. So B is our correct answer. So struggled a little bit. Let's try another one. Just because this has decimals, do not freak out. You can do it. All you're doing is plugging in numbers. You can put it in a calculator. You can put this whole left side of the equation. You can type it in your calculator just like a normal function. So in your calculator, you would type 0.5 and then plug in -2 in parentheses. Then do your minus sign, 2 times 0.5. Okay, hit enter and see what you get. Okay, so half of -2 is -1 minus 1/2 of, again, 2 times 1/2. -1 minus 1 is -2. Is -2 greater than or equal to 3? No, it's not greater than and it's not equal to. Okay, so we know it's not A. Try B. I'm going to go ahead and put the poll up. Good, Micah. Okay, 30 more seconds. Alrighty, so most of you, I think, have got this down pretty well. 73% of you, yay, chose C. That's exactly right. Good. Okay, so what I want to do now is we have some extra time. I want to go ahead and give you some time to either go back to 3.07 and complete it if you never did it. Go ahead and do it now, or make some adjustments if you need to make adjustments. If you do not need to do 3.07, you can use this time to go and take your Unit 3 test. Okay, that opened up in the course today, so you can go ahead and take your test. Alrighty. If